wide at the bottom,
and skinny at the top.
It's our time with Mr. Mayberry. Hey, let's get creative.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, Mr. Mayberry.
Today I'm going to show you how to draw a realistic looking tree. But first, let's do our paper exercise. Hold up your paper this direction, and let's say together, horizontal, vertical. Horizontal, vertical. Today I'd like you to have your paper the vertical way when we draw, because we're drawing a tall, tall tree, so we need a lot of room for that tree to grow. Let's get started. It's time to make some art. Okay, you can use a regular piece of copy paper for this picture today, but I'm going to use a 9x12 piece of paper off a drawing pad. It's a little bit heavier weight. Next time we'll be painting on here, so I'd like something just a little bit stronger. Copy paper will work if that's what you have, but if you can have a little bit stronger paper, I would recommend that. I'm going to start off today's picture with a brown crayon. And we're going to start by drawing a tree. Now, like I said in the opening, trees are wide at the bottom and skinny at the top. So I'm going to start down towards the bottom of the page. I don't want to start at the very bottom, but I'm going to start down towards the bottom, and I'm going to make a line that kind of slants in as it goes towards the middle. Now, this tree is going to go off the top of our page, so it's going to be so tall that you cannot see the top of it. So we want that line to go all the way up to the top. Then I'm going to start down on this side a little bit wider here at the bottom, and then I'm going to slant it in as I go up so it gets skinnier as it goes up towards the top. Okay, now this middle part of the tree, do you know what this is called? It's called a tree trunk. Okay, so that's the trunk of the tree. And then down at the bottom where the tree goes into the ground and even below the ground, do you know what that's called? Those are called roots. So let's draw, we're going to draw where the tree goes into the ground. I'm just going to make a zigzag kind of a line. And this shows that it's going down into the ground. The roots are going down deep so that the tree doesn't fall over. Alright, next I want to add some branches to the tree. And branches, just like the tree trunk, are wide at the bottom and skinny at the top. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to slant a line out to the side, all the way off the edge of the page. And I'm going to start wider towards the tree trunk, and then it gets skinny as it goes out. So it gets narrower, keeps going, keeps going, keeps going, just like that. So it's wide at the bottom and skinny at the top, just like the tree trunk. Okay, I want to make another branch off the other side. Now, I'm not going to make them directly across from each other, because in nature you usually don't find them directly across from each other. Usually they're either higher or lower than the other one. So I'll make this one a little bit lower, and it's going to go off to the side. And then I'm going to start wide at the bottom and get skinny at the top. Okay, so this is our main tree trunk with two limbs or branches. And then off of that, there are more branches. So I'm going to do the same process, except it's smaller. Each time it's smaller. This is a big, and then the branches are smaller than the tree trunk. They're not as wide. And then these branches are smaller than that. So I'm going to put a bunch of branches on here. Now you can put as many as you want on yours. And then those branches could have branches. Each time you draw them, they get smaller. They still are wide at the bottom and skinny at the top, but they get smaller each time. Okay, let's put some on this side too. And then that branch has branches, and this branch has branches, and you just keep going and going and going. So you get enough on there that it looks good to you. It looks like a tree. Okay, next I want to color in the tree. And it doesn't matter which part you start with. We're going to fill in all the branches and the trunk. We're just going to color everything in. Try to stay in the lines as best you can. I'm using the side edge of the crayon to do this. But fill that all in. Take your time and do a good job coloring. Art is not a race. Okay, when you get done, the next thing we're going to do is to draw some rough lines on the tree to represent the bark. The bark is the outside of the tree. It protects the tree. And what we're going to do is make just some wavy kind of lines. This is a black crayon. And I'm going back and making the bark using these wavy lines. Now you don't want to cover you don't want to put so many that you cannot see the brown. You just want to put a couple, 2 or 3 on each branch, just to tell that it's got a rough surface to it. Okay, now this tree looks very realistic. Most of the time when we draw trees, when we start off learning how to draw trees, we do something I like to call a lollipop tree. Looks something like this. We'll use a circle and a stick, just like a lollipop. But now if you look between these two, this one looks more like a real tree that you would see outside. Why? Because it starts off wide at the bottom and skinny at the top. Now, we're not going to add the leaves to this tree. We'll do that next time. So what I want you to do is when we get done today, you'll keep this picture and save it till next week, and then we'll use that we'll actually put some leaves on this. Now in the fall you see trees that look a lot like this because all the leaves fall off and then the tree is empty or bare. We're going to do one more thing today. We're going to make it look like the tree is actually on the ground. Right now it looks like it's kind of floating in space. So what I want to do, this is called the horizon line, and what it is, I'm going to put a line right across here. I stop when I get to the tree, and then I start on the other side. And what it does, this separates the sky and the ground. So everything above this line is the sky, and everything below this line is the ground. I like to call it the sky line. Okay, so we draw a sky line right back here behind, and then we will color the sky and the ground.
Awesome!
An easy way to cover a large area on your picture is to take the paper off of the crayon and rub with the side of the crayon. You can do this quickly, and it looks really nice when you get done. Okay, I colored the sky using the side of the crayon, and now I'm going to do the same thing with the ground. I'm using a green for grass, and I'm just rubbing around on the paper. It's okay if you get on top of things, that won't hurt a thing. You just fill your entire bottom part of the paper then with green color. So this is our first part of the project that we're doing today, is drawing a realistic tree, and then next time we'll add the leaves to it. So hold on to this paper till next time.
Don't forget to keep your paper. We'll need it for next week's project. If you'd like some art homework, teach someone else how to draw a tree. Well, that's all for today. I'll see you next time.
Goodbye, Mr. Mayberry.